You found the Live Local Marketing Podcast, where business owners share their knowledge about what's working in the market today. No fluff, just their experiences and stories from people who are making it happen. And if authentic, practical marketing resonates with you, be sure to visit livelocal.warmmarketing.com and learn to grow your business on warm marketing referrals. Now, on to the show. Today's guest is Kayla Fotta, founder of Par Excellence Marketing. It's a luxury marketing and web design agency helping luxury brands across real estate, fashion, beauty, lifestyle stand out and scale up. With a signature blend of strategy and style, she helps brand position themselves at the top of the market and attract high-end clients with confidence. In addition to her professional career, Kayla's a pilot. Hopefully we get into that a little bit. Practices Muay Thai and strongly believes in limitless ambition. And if you haven't checked out her website, I'm sure we'll talk about it by the end. It is a beautiful website. So, ma'am, ready for the questions?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, let's roll. We got this. To talk to us about, as an entrepreneur, your first win.
So this seems like an interesting question to me. And I kind of want to turn it into an opportunity to not just talk about my first win as a client, but maybe more so my first win in having a company and doing my own thing, full time. So I originally started my own company and went everything all in about 2 months before COVID hit. I was doing marketing and web design for many years, but also working for other people alongside of that. And I went full swing into it. And unbeknownst to me, COVID was about to happen. And I think for me, one of the biggest wins was being able to go through that experience and learn from it. And then also just maintain the company throughout. I think a lot of companies, even established companies, really didn't do well during that time and they closed their doors. And I was fortunate enough, alongside of, just being very tenacious to maintain and keep the company afloat during that difficult time.
Did you have like a portfolio of people that you brought into your business? Like, were you working somewhere else and then you brought some of those clients with you into the new business, or how did that look for you?
No, I actually just started from scratch and just went out and did prospecting. I definitely had way more right before COVID hit and a lot of people backed out, but I was able to sustain, fortunately.
Were the first few gigs like mostly website type stuff, or is it marketing, website? What did the first few jobs look like?
I'd say a good mix.
Oh, good mix. Like you're 50-50 marketing and websites?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, go ahead.
No. When you sit down and talk to people and you have the word luxury, I'm sure there's maybe a little bit of hesitation. So how do you break down that barrier and talk to them about ROI of luxury and why they should make that kind of commitment?
Yeah. So a lot of times with luxury marketing, the difference between luxury, premium, mass marketing is that you're not trying to do a big sell all of the time. It's more about talking about the lifestyle. It's about showing people what they can experience and then positioning or imagining themselves in that position. A lot of times with mass marketing, you're really focusing on the pricing. You're focusing on being competitive. You're focusing on, a lot of different facets that you don't really look at when it comes to luxury, which is more about this is the product, this is the experience you can have, this is the lifestyle it aligns with, and then being able to find those people that really live that lifestyle and find your product of use to them or something that they truly want versus need.
There has to be a very, very clear client base, right? You have to really, really know who your audience is. How do you make sure that your clients have the right audience before you start embarking on that marketing plan?
Yeah, so a lot of times with mass marketing, you can use Facebook to your heart's content. I've done a lot over the years with like dealerships and especially like used cars. You'll get leads like crazy through Facebook. But when it comes to luxury marketing and more high-end marketing, you want to focus on more demographics. So you might target specific areas that have higher income. You're going to target different income percentiles. You're going to target things that they have similar interests in. And then Google has been really great with being able to find in-market audiences that align with different services and products that my clients offer.
So my knee-jerk reaction is that I wouldn't find luxury people on Facebook. You've mentioned Facebook ads several times. Like, is that really where you can find a luxury audience on Facebook? Am I just being biased?
So you can obviously find luxury consumers there, but the problem is that Facebook really restricts your targeting. You can't, for example, real estate, you can't restrict anything based on demographics, for housing. Whereas Google, you can restrict income percentiles. You can look for people that are in market for luxury housing. You can target people that are searching other websites like Sotheby's and things like that. And then typically I'll use Facebook and Instagram to piggyback off of that and do some retargeting or lookalike audiences.
Got it. That makes complete sense. So let's do a little shift here when we talk about AI. So what are some of the best uses of AI? And you mentioned some Google ads and some things of that nature. Are you also trying to position yourself to be found in AI searches as well?
Not specifically. One of the things that I find AI to be very useful for me, probably two things. So I did a website for an ice cream brand earlier this year. And yeah, we needed to create some images for them that had more of a culinary appeal.
Neat.
Yeah. So they had some images of their pints, but they didn't really have anything with maybe some of the toppings that were mixed in. And we did some really cool images with frost on the pints and things like that. And that was really cool. And then I think the other cool thing with AI, I use a program called Notion a lot for organization and project management. And it's gotten really good where you can describe the exact type of dashboard and platform that you want, and it just creates it for you.
So using the Notion is kind of like an assistant, helping you kind of keep yourself in order?
Yeah, and then I also use it as a dashboard for all of my clients. So they can keep all of their reporting in there. I do live reports, project timelines, and any assets that we're using for websites or marketing. They can comment on specific things and approve them. And it's just a really cool tool for staying organized.
Do you ever do like AI clips and things too? You talked about the ice cream a little bit, which is a missed opportunity. You could have just been the test dummy. You could have had all the ice cream you could eat, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Do you use like clips and things for that as well?
We have a little bit, we did some where, the ice cream swirling around and things like that in the machine. But mostly imagery. I've done a little bit as well pertaining to luxury homes with AI video. But for the most part, I'm just kind of focusing on imagery because I feel like it's a better quality. And while, video is really great, I think AI still has a good ways to go for it to be just right.
So it's more of I want to look real without people knowing it's AI type of situation.
Yeah, that and just the professionalism of it. If there's any like strange anomalies in the video, it just doesn't look very professional.
It's true. Yeah, 6 fingers and
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's always
all
the
the
thing.
glitches.
Yes, or they won't. The people are never looking at you because the eyes are strange.
It's always weird. So we talked about this a little bit. Can you give us an example of a solid cold marketing strategy you're using right now? Maybe an example, and then maybe one of a warm marketing strategy you're using right now and some examples.
Yes.
A quick break before we get to that next answer, because I know that answer is going to be brilliant, which is why I chose this moment to interrupt. If you love what you're seeing and you want to run your business off of warm marketing referrals, visit our website, livelocalwarmmarketing.com. It's got valuable resources, office hours, memberships, the book, an array of resources to help you get rid of cold calls, cold leads, door knocking, and run a business you can be proud of through referrals and warm marketing. Now, back to the show.
So cold marketing is actually one of my favorite things. I know not a lot of people say that.
No, not many.
Yeah. I have a pretty good strategy that I've been using for several industries. I also use it for myself, for my own prospecting. And I am a huge fan of LinkedIn Sales Nav. I think it's super fantastic. You can target by industry, you can target by location, job title, things like that. Especially with like real estate, it's been really, really good to be able to connect with other real estate agents. If I have a real estate client, to, help them network, I can invite them to their page. They can, they might have a buyer or a seller or that fits their client's needs. So it's been really good there. Sort of the same thing. I have a luxury home building client, and it's really good for connecting there as well with different interior designers or other, again, real estate agents for them that might have a buyer that's wanting a new home. So that's a really good strategy. Sorry. Oh, no, not at all.
You're good. So that's the cold marketing side of it. So the cold marketing side of it, you got a lot of LinkedIn, you got a lot of good strategies. Seems like very effective. I don't know my way around LinkedIn nearly well enough, but what about some more marketing strategies? Do you have warm marketing things you do as well that are pretty effective?
Yeah. So when it comes to warm marketing, really, for the most part, it's somebody brings me a referral. I also do referral incentives for people, and that's been pretty beneficial. If they have somebody that they know that needs marketing assistance, then they can let me know and I'll get in touch with that person. And if a sale is made, then they obviously get a cut. And that's worked out pretty well.
I always, when I picture the luxury market, I always picture people like talk to one another in that demographic, and that leads to probably a lot more referrals and so forth than many other industries. Am I off base with that, or is that pretty accurate?
No, for sure. And SalesNav works in that respect as well, because the person that you connect with initially might not be the person that you do business with, and they might not be the person that you need to be in contact with, but they might know somebody. It's all about networking at the end of the day, so whether you're networking at an event or you're networking online, I always look at SalesNav as sort of like a digital, a constant going on event for networking.
Nice. No, that's good. That's excellent. So we talked a little tiny bit about the video marketing. I always like to pick people's brain about how they're using video. It's just my own personal, like, getting the information out of my guests the best I can. So you don't use clips very much because they're really not on par yet. Do you do other kinds of video marketing, or do you usually stick to like imagery? Because you have a lot of images on your websites and stuff, and they're gorgeous, but do you also incorporate some video stuff?
Yeah. So I actually have I think solely imagery on my website right now. I used to do video, but I find that for a website, it can be good to host a video if you want it to look really good and cutting edge and things like that. But sometimes for speed purposes, it's good to just do some imagery. I do work with some clients that we partner with different videographers and photographers to get some different content. I also will fly out to some clients and grab some content for them. I'm very specific about what I have an eye for and what I have a vision for. And so I absolutely am hands-on with going and making sure that that is exactly what we get.
All right. So for the vision, I'm curious now. So do you do like kind of a storyboard scenario where you draw it all up and kind of storyboard it, or do you just show up and just have that instinct?
Yeah. So I'm a big planner. And that's kind of where like Notion comes into play. If I'm going out to a location, I will have an itinerary, I will have a plan. I will say, this is what we're shooting, this is how long it should take. And I find it really good to have, it's imperative for me to have good organization planning, just to make sure everything goes smoothly.
That plus, I'm sure a little OCD, just like me, where like you just have to have it go. Yeah, I can feel it. I can tell.
Yes, I will completely swirl if I don't have it. So.
I can tell, or I can tell. All right, so let's talk to the people that are don't have the confidence to move into that luxury level, because it is a little intimidating to go from just the lower stakes, just mass communication versus finding a niche and getting a very luxury specific audience. What kind of things would you tell them about the confidence required to make that step into luxury?
Sure. Well, I think step one is to be passionate about what you're doing. If you're not passionate about it, you're going to get burnt out and you're not going to feel inspired. So I think loving what you're doing, at least to some respect, is important. You know, that's really the heart of it. But outside of that, when it comes to confidence, it's all about just doing it and putting yourself out there and just sticking with it. Consistency is really important because a lot of times things might seem like they're not moving in the right direction. But, you know, I think as an entrepreneur and for other people that are business owners that I help with, it's very easy to get stuck in the weeds and be on a ground level, and you can't see everything the same way that you would from an aerial view. So I think just consistency and passion and just being willing to put yourself out there and just keep going.
So the consistency, the word we always hear is grit. That's our 10-cent word these days. What traits did you have like growing up and so forth that has really led you to get into this luxury market and to have the strength to do this?
Yeah. So I would say I love risk. I love taking chances. I absolutely love trying new things. Hence, you know, Muay Thai or flying or things like that. I get bored if I'm not doing something new. So trying new things and being willing to try things that other people may not are probably some of those qualities that has put me here.
Gotcha. Those make sense. Now, last answer, you mentioned burnout. So let's do it. We finish off by talking about what kind of things do we do to avoid burnout? Because like you said, you can be on the ground level doing all the things and you could easily burn out even when you love it. How do you avoid burnout, and what kind of things do you do?
So I actually did another podcast on this. I think you mentioned that you had checked it out. And it was about self-care and combining that with the workplace. And that's something that I'm very passionate about. You know, I believe that you should make time for yourself every day. You know, you can easily look at your schedule and say, I have 100 things to do today. I have to focus on these things. I can't take a minute for myself. I can't stop. And I think it's really important to be able to do that. I myself go to the gym every day. I make sure that I eat well. I do red light therapy and things like that. And those are all things that for me are, you know, a wind down, and it's something for myself to be able to just decompress a little bit.
Where is the farthest you've flown, Miss Pilot?
I'm sorry, what was that?
So you said piloting. When was the farthest you've flown?
So I am actually still working on my pilot's license. So I haven't gotten to actually venture out too much just yet. But it's an incredible experience being in a private plane, and it's very different when you're sitting there in the cockpit and you get to fly. It's so peaceful and quiet, and it's just an experience like you've never had.
I can tell you're a goal person now. What's the goal? What's the farthest? Are you trying to do like continental, intercontinental? What is the goal here? I know you probably have something in mind already.
Well, I guess generally speaking, in a broad sense, the goal is as far as I can take it.
Got it.
Yeah. You know, like I said, I get bored if I'm not doing something new. So whatever I'm doing next year, I can assure you, I probably don't even know what it is yet.
It's good. It must be hard keeping up on that LinkedIn profile when things change so much.
You know, I'm happy to update it.
I'm happy to update it. All right, cool. Before we head out of here, let's give you your outro where you talk to us about your business and then where people can get more information or have a meeting.
Yeah. So one of the unique things about my business that you won't find a lot with agencies these days is that everything is custom. I don't do packages. I don't do, you know, a lot of times people will come to me and they'll say, well, what is your pricing like? And I'll say, well, you know, what are your goals? What do you need? Where are you currently? And I like to have a good conversation with them to understand, like I said, where they are, where they want to be, and create a custom strategy from that, which includes custom pricing. Because I can't, if the product doesn't fit one size fits all, you know, the pricing won't as well. So everything that I do is custom and tailored to each brand and what they need to achieve. As far as being able to reach me, I'd say, email, phone, text. If you ask any of my clients, I am available through all forms.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah.
And I think all the information is also on your website, if I'm correct.
Yes, correct. Yeah, you can visit my website, and all of the information is there. I'm also available on LinkedIn. So whenever somebody messages me, pretty quick to get back to them there as well.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Well, good luck with the piloting. I can see you, like, we're in DC area, so I can picture you coming in out of BWI or all the different ports we have here. So good luck with it all. We appreciate your time today, and be sure you check out her website.
Thank you. So